Hi, Renato and everybody. It's Jeff here. Hey, Renato, I'm not at Starbucks. I'm here at McDonald's. They don't have to put my name on my coffee cup and get it wrong, right? I'm just kidding. I love your Starbucks coffee cup stuff. This is great. Everybody loves it. Um, and it also shows a lot about how we interpret phonetics and all that kind of stuff in different languages, right? That's not the purpose of this video, right? Sorry, I got a Halloween voice, but I've had bronchitis for a couple of weeks. That's why I couldn't go to TCOM and talk and sing because I my voice is just Halloweenish. So we're working on getting some meds to fix that and my cough, um, beyond the natural stuff. So Renato, I want to I know that you had that I think it was during LocTalk, right? SmartCat LocTalk, the session you talked about innovation in this industry. And I came in late because I was in the car and I was transitioning between two different places. And I came in late, but I was glad I was able to kind of come in with some questions or some comments. And I want to bring it up here again in a video I'll put up on YouTube, because I want to kind of cover it a little bit more. Um, I've been thinking about a lot about this and what you said, and I've been thinking a lot about it over the past probably well year, but over the past several years about innovation, and I don't want to address that. The what I said in your as a comment, I think you brought me on a voice too to mention. I think that I was able to say that was that 30 years ago, about 30 years, I've been in this industry in the language stuff since 1984, when I was actually 1983 and 84 when I was actually teaching. I was a language assistant in my senior year of high school, and that's what I got an award for. And so I started all this as having studied languages, and I was able to be a language teaching assistant, grading and stuff for French and Spanish in my last year of high school. And then spent a lot of years doing academic, stuff, teaching languages and stuff and all that, and get into linguistics. But that got me in the industry and got me all this machine translation stuff. That's what I'm really known for, is all the technology stuff, right? But done a lot of services, done a lot of sales and stuff in addition. But but also the fact that I've not the world crises. There have been several world crises. The dot-com crash, the whole learn out in house BMS, right? Um, the With that went along with the dot-com crash, and then 9/11, right? And then the world crisis in 2008ish with all the financial disaster, and then we can see COVID is another one. Several of these things, the dot-com crash, 9/11, and the world crisis in 2008, actually kind of kicked me out of the fields I was in this language technology field. Kind of forced me to stop doing that and go do other things. And so I went into telecom software, and then I came over to business intelligence software and predictive analytics, business analytics, and all kinds of stuff, and performance management software. And sorry, I got the cough, but it's still kind of persistent. Kind of working out with some meds. But what's been really interesting in that whole bouncing back between industries, across industries, and having worked in automotive and even aeronautics and stuff, is that I've been really thinking about this, is how this has affected, my perception of the languages field, because I keep coming back to this field. I don't need to. I can do all this other stuff, and really did real with the telecom. I kind of regret having left the telecom field and come back to language technology, because I would be like a senior vice president if I was doing the other stuff. But I keep coming back to this because I like it here. I really like it, and I believe that I have a lot to contribute to this field from the other fields. And I think that's really key. In those other fields, well, let's say that the language technology field, 30 years ago, what I was doing, Simon's McDonald's, the other people talking, but hey, well, I'll talk louder with my Halloween voice, right? The the key was that 30 years ago, what I was doing for machine translation was very innovative. Okay, back then, I'll say that. I'll be very bold to say that what we were doing at Carnegie Mellon and Caterpillar was state of the art, up front runner stuff, really front runner stuff, very innovative. SGML, integration of tags, markup languages. This is like and machine translation with semantic tag flipping and stuff. I mean, this was even Trados didn't know what to do with us, right? Because they didn't know how to accommodate our semantic tag um, annotation that was making that we were flipping the tags around based on the language, and it was really it was semantic understanding that a proper name and a trademark could have different semantic meanings, and when you go to a different language, you flip the tags around. It's just like this was Trados. We had to make our own translation memory tool because Trados couldn't deal with it, right? Back in 1995, right? So, but what I was doing 30 years ago, and even Carnegie Mellon with all the combining statistical machine translation with example-based machine translation. I wrote tons of papers on this, right? Back then it was innovative. It was really innovative because we were at the head of the pack, right? But now I'll say, and this is what I said in the comment to your talk, and I think that's why this is so key. Your talk was so key, Renato. You're doing a lot of great stuff. And I'm kind of doing stuff on the side, just pointing to all this. We're all pointing to the same thing, right? We're all revealing the same things in parallel, cross-validation. Is that the so what I was doing 30 years ago was innovative. What I've been doing for the past, I'm going to say almost 20 years. I think once the whole translation memory TMX initiative kicked off back in 1999, I think that was the point in time in which it became repetitive. It became it's no longer innovation. I find that everything that I've been doing in general, okay, but the fact that I'll come back to the other things and jumping across fields, and that'll change things here. But everything I've been doing purely in this industry, of the half of my career that I've stayed in this industry, right? In language industry field, what do you want to call this? Is both services and technologies. Is that I'm repeating the same thing over and over again in different places, different locations, different companies, and actually what I'm doing is I've been automating. I've been finding new ways to improve and optimize and streamline things based on manual processes that exist, or finding new ways to do those processes that are, like I said, optimized, and then automating that, right? So I create new ways to processes to make it better. Then I automate it. But really, I'm not really changing anything. I'm just saying that we can do it better. And that's not really innovation. It's just optimization, okay? And then automation. So it's optimization and automation. That is not innovation. I don't care how many patents we write, okay? I don't care if we call them patents. And I do these things too, right? I write patents too. But really, a lot of this is just modifying fair use. Probably not fair use. We're not sure about how fair use it is, right? But taking things that exist and modifying them, optimizing and automating to make it work in a lot of different scenarios with a very complex structure of business processes, workflows, production workflows, sales workflows of like we say, a word-based industry. But the problem is not word-based, it's project management. It's everything on top of it. All these layers are all being priced on Word for those that don't know how to sell, right? Because solution selling, you sell the whole thing, right? All these different pieces. And you just that's how you make all your margins, right? So the fact that we're trying to pack all that into a word-based price, which is commoditized, try to make the money off the words, which is not what it is. With a lot of these processes and stuff, we have to optimize everything, right? You got to optimize it like crazy. And I think this is really key to understanding why what I am doing is not innovation. It's just replication with optimization and automation. Hey, that's what I should call this video. So it's not innovation. It's optimization, or it's replication with optimization and automation. That's what it is. And I think that is, but we're saying it's innovation. I hear people talking it's innovation. It's innovation, folks. It's not innovation. It's It's what I just said. And but I'll come back to the flipping around industries, and I think that's kind of the key thing. I've come back, or I've jumped around to other things, and I come back, and every time I come back from these other industries, which I believe in those other industries, I've done a lot of innovative stuff because I've worked in the companies that are kind of starting the new things off, right? At MyCom, we were starting off the whole 3G, applying Pake and put enterprise performance management systems and data decision support systems on top of telecom data, um, online online analytical processing cubes of data warehousing. Um, and we were removing the SQL, having to do SQL programming or fetching and stuff. And we were doing it so you could do object oriented stuff. You just look at it, you drag and drop and things and make these, create these and analytics of these cubes, right? That was innovative. And now that company is, I regret not having stayed there, right? But coming back to this language industry, this cursed language industry, I love it. I love it. But the the things that we're doing have become, that company is now like number one in that industry, and has spread across not just telecom, wireless, cellular way, or wireless mobile, wireless telecom industry, to doing all kinds of other stuff for other kinds of applications, right? They'll kind of still focus on telecom in general, IP, basically, internet providers and all that. And I think so that's just one example I've done, but I've done other stuff. I've done, worked with aeronautics and stuff, and worked with mechanical engineering and vehicles, right? Caterpillar. Um, and so I can kind of jump into the things, and the whole business analytics thing and business intelligence. Why I started that in MyCom, doing the data decision support. When I got to business intelligence, yeah, I've been doing this already, folks. The whole thing, raw data, then information, then intelligence, right? It's the cube, it's the pyramid. And it just all made sense to me. And I got into business intelligence, and I said, hey, I've been doing this, right? Just in a different field. So it's jumping around doing these fields and doing these things that then allow me to do some really additional stuff with some great developers. I've had a lot of great colleagues. Okay, it's not just me. It's I've been working with a lot of great, you know colleagues that understand what they're doing, and we just make things rock. Okay, but then we'll do in that industry. So those different areas, right? And it'll be cross industry, because business intelligence can apply to anything, just like translation. You can apply it to anything, right? Business analytics, it doesn't matter what you call it. Predictive analytics now, right now. You can apply it to. I mean, I'm walking down when I go through the train stations, I'm thinking about workflows of the people walking, the traffic flows and the logistics of that. And I'm thinking, we got to we got to apply it to this, right? For predictive analytics of traffic, of pedestrian traffic in train stations, right? Because they're just doing it wrong. And so I think about this all the time, and so I'm constantly applying it, right? But the idea is I bring that back to the language technology industry, and that's where it's really cool, because I'm bringing things from different areas where we've got big data, right? No, technical big data and telecom, where it's all annotated by the system, right? Because in this field, I've said that we don't have annotated data. I got a video just about that. But then coming back to this and bringing it in to where I'm borrowing again, but then we consider this as innovation, right? Because this is brand new, right? Where this is kind of old hat stuff in these other industries. So we've been doing that already. So that's why we call it innovation. It's because we're applying it. And so again, it's applied replication, right? Well, replication is applied, right? But replication is applying it to another place. But I called it applied. I don't want to call it applied innovation. It's just what it is. But we consider this in the language as innovation. I think we've got it wrong. We got it wrong. I'm not saying that we're bad. I'm just saying we got it wrong. We're calling innovation because it's like the first time that some of the colleagues in the field have done this, right? It's like, this is old hat stuff for me. This like we've already. I'm just reusing stuff from recycling, but I'm thinking of it in a different way because I'm able to think in the different universes or different metaverses. Over there in telecom, it's a different metaverse, right? Over here in the language industry, it's a different metaverse. So I'm just applying it. And kind of like how Spider-Man, the metaverse is where you can see the different Spider-Men in different universes, right? The metaverses and how they are and how they're dealing with all the bad guys, right? It's the same thing. Maybe yeah, God, I'm Spider-Man dealing with the bad guys, the bad implementations, not bug fixing, right? Um, so, so that's kind of my thoughts on this whole innovation versus again replication and automation, a replication of optimization and automation. I need to memorize this thing. I just came up with it just doing this video, but I think this is really key. And once we get out of that rut of thinking it's innovation, then we can think about what is really is innovation, and 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 let's have some people do the replication stuff, and then have others try to figure out the innovation. Um, I mean, I've been doing stuff, and I've been doing stuff a lot in the past 4 years on the whole speech side. I mean, I've done speech technologies before, but now I'm kind of using that experience doing subtitling and captioning, right? And I've done huge amounts of post editing. I mean, 7,000 minutes of post editing, monolingual. But I have a huge database that's annotated, right? And I just automate it. Or I find ways to optimize it and then automate it. But again, that's not innovation. I mean, we all everything. This is great, new, and I said, no, it's not. I've already done it machine translation post editing for 30 years before. I'm just doing the same thing, but in different language, monolingual. I apply it to a different type of technology stack. I'm not doing text. I'm doing speech to text. But we all see this as innovation. Well, I'm being told it's innovation. I've said, no, it's not. No, it's not. Um, so I think that this is key as you do. I think the real areas of innovation. Okay, and I'm going here for almost 20 minutes here, but I think this is really important. Is that the areas of innovation we can focus on are not about quality assessment. I got a whole new book coming out of quality. I got a whole new book published in the quality assessment video, right? I talk a lot about this already, but that's not innovation. That's just simplifying what already exists based on what others have done too in hotels and restaurants and other things. That's not innovation. Innovation is also not tagging and annotating data because that we've done this before. We just need to do it here in this industry so we could actually process the data better, parse and process it. Where I think there are some really areas of innovation we need to think about is semantic categorization and stuff. There's a lot of work to be done there, and that needs some thought. Whether it's not a true innovation or not, whatever. But I think that there are other areas where we need to work on things where that can be considered innovation. And I think what will happen here in the next coming years, the potential thing is the potential liability is having patent wars over who had the idea first. And I do a lot of writing of stuff. I do a lot of content creation about potential patent stuff. So I know this, but I think that we're going to have some interesting wars. And in this industry, we've had some patent wars. They haven't been talked about very much, but I know about them. I know they are. I follow them pretty closely. And I think that there will be things who had the idea first. And I think once we get into this thing where a lot of people have done the same things, then we're going to, if someone's starting to get to, hey, we can make money off the patent wars, this is going to turn into a mess. Because then people will be fighting each other in the thing who had the idea first about something which already have existed before, but they didn't know about. I think that's the big risk. That's a whole nother video, right? So, but I just want to address it. Hey, thanks, Renato, for your talk. Thanks for you bringing this up, being bold about it. A few of us are being bold about it in general. Glad to do the brainstorming with you, sir. And take care. And I'm looking for that next Starbucks coffee attempt to do your name. Thanks so much.